It is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Jonathan Rudy, Peacebuilding Mentor and Social Change Strategist of Peacebuilding Global. Please give him a warm round of applause.
Wow, the program says only 5 minutes for inspiration. It's a good thing I have 2 cups of coffee on board. So, any speech from now until the next 5 years must mention COVID. COVID. Okay, we got that out of the way. So, when I was invited to come back to MPI, and it's been 4 years, I think 2019, come back face to face. And when I saw the wonderful kind of theme for this year, I was really taken by this word, journey. And I don't know how many of you like to hike. Go out in the mountains, go out in nature, go somewhere where the natural world is much more available than the concrete jungles that maybe many of us live in. And I began to think about, well, so what is MPI and what is this journey? And one of the things that struck me about this poster was the road. And we're almost here. There's the sun, and there's the peace stuff, and we could be right here, right? And then Ukraine and Syria and displacement and pandemic and everything that has built up. And you don't need the litany that I'll give it to you anyways. As we've heard it, the weekend seminar really highlighted a couple things for me. And as PK and I were looking at developing this course, media, social media, artificial intelligence are some of the new challenges that I don't know, when you hike and you have this huge hill in front of you and you finally crest the hill and you think, we're at the top, only to discover, and really, I beg forgiveness for desecrating the holy shrine here. But all of a sudden, there are mountains, other mountain peaks. When we crest that hill, it's like, oh man, we're not even close. And that's kind of the way it is with peacebuilding. With robotic warfare now, and a new authoritarianism, or at least we're aware of it. The bureaucratization that we heard on the weekend of the security state, and how we have these new challenges that seem to be on our journey all of a sudden in the way for the dove of peace. Well, it's not only that we have these big, wicked issues that we're facing, these macro issues, these intersectional issues that we somehow need to wrap our heads around, let alone address with advocacy. We have also on our hike we have these streams that get in the way, and those are right in front of us, and they have to be crossed. Now, sometimes these streams are small, but sometimes they have slippery rocks that we fall in. And sometimes they're polluted because the trees have all been cut down. And now we have these polluted streams that we have to go through. In our peace building, that's kind of like the environmental degradation we face day to day, the diesel smoke we have to put up from traffic. It's the lack of clarity of our thinking about how to respond. And something that really struck me on Saturday in the middle of my jet lag, and it's amazing anything got through that, but is the idea of who is the enemy. If we are at perpetual war, we're at war with everything, with high insurance rates, with rust in our toilet bowls, we're with cockroaches. Like, who is the enemy if it's perpetual war? And I've often fantasized about what would happen if we would completely do away with the enemy paradigm, if we had no more enemies. The world would be turned upside down. But maybe that's our role as peace builders on this journey to cross that river that's kind of impeding our flow and our hike up the mountain to get to this dove of peace. Well, I don't want to be doom and gloom because this is supposed to be inspirational. So, on our hike, what do we do? Well, we have to build a fire, a campfire. Okay, I know we live in the tropics, right? Hey, but right outside of Davao City is Mount Apo. And if you go up to the top of that, and I know there are hiking clubs here in Davao City, it's going to be cold up there, and we're going to need to have warmth. And so the campfire is like MPI. It's the circle around which we gather as people to kind of get warmth and to reconnect and to relax from the arduous and hard journey up the trail. And so, here we are. This is us. This is us around the campfire. I've got two of us. One for each side. This is us this week, these 3 weeks. And we're getting warmth. We're cooking our food for nutrition and for sustenance here at this place where we're away from our jobs. Are we actually away from our jobs? Come on, people. Let's put these away for a little while, especially in class, right? Okay? We're gonna use these quite a bit in our class. But here we are gathered around, and I know that there are mountains where it gets cold. So it's not like Johann Galton's iceberg in the middle of the tropics, right? And, we can imagine campfires and the warmth of that, and the community that we build around that. And part of what we do around campfires in the evening is tell stories. And I imagine there's been a lot of stories being told. And we learn from each other. And it's true that we learn best through stories. Not through the frameworks that we're going to throw at you, not through the models that we've developed, but somehow the learning takes root when we tell our stories with each other. And so that's the community that we're building this week and next week, and that you've already built in the previous week. There's one more thing on our journey that we've been carrying with us. And that's our sleeping bag. Okay, I know it's the tropics, and you don't really crawl in a sleeping bag. I'm on Apo, you need one, right? So we'll keep our sleeping bag here. And the sleeping bag represents self-care. It represents that need for sleep and rejuvenation that we need after all the intensity around here and all of the strenuous work we've done on the trail. And so, self-care is one of those things, whether it's taking care of our own trauma, whether it's, just spending time journaling and in quiet reflection. The older I get, the more I realize I need the quiet times. I need the times of self-reflection where I can actually sit and hear myself throughout the day, what I've said. And many times I need to go back and apologize for things or insensitivities. And so this sleeping bag of self-care is one of the things I would invite you to do this coming week and the week after, is say, what does it mean for me to care for myself, to love myself, to be kind to myself, even in the mistakes and all of the things that I do. Because it's through that then that we get a real rejuvenation to hit the trail again the next morning and tackle the next round of mountains and the next things that are keeping us from the beautiful of peace. Thank you.